Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sauradeep, your host for today's webinar. Thank you for standing by and welcome to the Esri India webinar on Fast Track the Quality Control of Your GIS Data. This is the second webinar of the multi-webinar series focusing on new and enhanced capabilities of ArcGIS platform. The speaker for today's webinar is Dr. Devanand Dangwal. Dr. Devanand has more than 15 years of experience in data creation and migration. He was worked in technical support and pre-sales roles as well. Dr. Devanand is MSc and PhD in Environmental Sciences and postgraduate in Remote Sensing and GIS. Dr. Devanand will share details about the data quality, is essential, and how ArcGIS Data Reviewer can help streamline your quality control efforts. At the onset, few ground rules. For the duration of presentation, all participants' line will be in listen-only mode. We have a panel of Esri India experts from other industries and technologies areas on call to answer any queries you may have. We will have the Q&A session post the presentation. So meanwhile, if you have any questions, you may send them across to the panelists using the chat window on the right-hand side of your web console. So now, without further delay, I would like to hand over the proceedings to Dr. Devanand from Esri India. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Hi, welcome to the webinar, and my name is Devanand Dangwal, working as a group manager in Esri India Technologies. Today I am talking about the fast track the quality control of your GIS data. So this we are going to talk about. So first we will discuss the agenda that we are going to take, and this agenda will justify that how you can improve and how you can check your data quality and how you can make your data error-free. So the quality check your GIS data using ArcGIS Data Reviewer can be defined through the agenda we have today. In today's webinar, we'll talking about the importance of data quality and how Data Reviewer can help you to implement a data quality process using the ArcGIS platform. How it is going to help you, we will discuss this. We'll talk about the two forms of data quality review, the visual review and the automated review, and both have their pros and cons, so we'll discuss both of them. Then we'll talk about the managing errors and reporting data quality, and finally we'll talk about the summary and resources. In this, the importance of data quality. So what is the importance of data quality? That we will discuss here. In this section, we'll talking about what is and how the data reviewer can be used to implement your data quality, your business rules, and But before we can have a meaningful discussion about data quality, we first should consider the impact. Before we can have a meaningful discussion about data quality, we first should consider the impacts that poor quality data has upon an organization and its mission. So there are three categories actually for the executive level, for the manager level, and at the level of knowledge workers. So the first executive leadership, good data quality means reducing risk in decision making by avoiding the use of faulty or incomplete information which may impact the organization's reputation amongst its customers and stakeholders. So the good quality matters here. For GIS managers, good quality demonstrates effective data stewardship, which in turn increases faith in the system's ability to support business operations that derive increased utilization. Now at the executive now at the knowledge worker level, who rely on the GIS products and services, whether they are internal or external customers, good data quality means that they can finally realize the efficiencies and benefits of leveraging geospatial data to make their job easier. Again, the defining quality. Once we have an understanding of how data quality impacts the organization, we need to then think about what constitutes good quality data. As defined by the ISO, the International Organization Standardization, GIS data has different components to its quality. For example, spatial position accuracy is a measure of a feature's location in relation to its true position on the Earth. Data completeness is defined as the presence or absence of a feature. And so forth. Collectively, these components provide insight into how well data represent features in the real world. Now we'll come to that what is ArcGIS Data Reviewer. So the Data Reviewer is the quality management extension of ArcGIS. It includes rule-based quality control for validating data, interactive tools for reviewing data, and way to track and report error information throughout the quality control process. Whatever you are a small team or working in an enterprise environment, whatever you are a small team or working in an enterprise environment, implementing reviewer can provide significant resource saving by helping you find errors early in the process. The 10.1 onward data reviewer was released as an extension to ArcGIS for server also. So now we'll talk about that managing quality control, how we can control the quality actually. So today we will cover in this the three major functionality areas of data reviewer: the automated review, visual review, and quality reporting. This capability, so this includes capability to automate the validation of data if we are talking about the automated review, and tools that facilitate visual or manual review process that can include a non-GIS audience such as data consumer, stakeholders, and other interested parties. So it comes under visual review, and quality reporting, that we can generate reports and we can document the errors that we find in our data through the quality reporting. Now the type of quality control. Now what is type of quality control? I mean, if we're talking about the automated review, then we will say the automated review is the ability to evaluate features quality using data quality checks that access different aspects of features such as its integrity, attribution, or spatial relationship to other features. Very little human interaction is required, so this is the fastest and least expensive form of quality control, and it is often used to establish baseline evaluation of data quality. If we'll talk about the visual, then visual review on the other hand takes advantage of what the human eye does well, find missing features or features that are inconsistent with spatial pattern observable in the data. However, this process is resource intensive and requires support from people who understand the data under review and can make consistent judgment calls regarding the quality of the data under their review. There are pros and cons of both the forms of data validation, and during this presentation we will get into more details on each. Now we'll talk about the automated review. So we'll talk about the automating data validation. So regardless of their source using data reviewer, many of these quality requirements can be implemented as rule-based checks. So there are more than 40 plus configurable checks we will have here. There are the different checks which can configure in hundreds of different combinations to access different aspects of data quality, such as features integrity, attribution, and spatial relationship with other features. Pictured on the slide in a data reviewer checks poster, this is a great resource for understanding how you can use these checks to validate data against your organization's business rules. So this will help you that which check you need to run on your data and which error you want to eliminate from your data. So now the next, I am going to take a very small demo here. So in this demo, what I will do, I will first tell you about the the reviewer session, that what is reviewer session, and then I will talk about the the checks, and finally I will run one check on this data, and this data then it will show the number of errors that we have found in this data. So the first one is reviewer session manager. So I'm just opening this. So as you can see here, yeah, so I'm going to create a new reviewer session here, the 7th one. Then I will say the start session, and then I will say the apply. Once this is applied, then I'll close it. As I told you that there are more than 40 plus checks. So you can see the list of the checks you can see here, like the feature on feature check and event checks, duplicate, and there are subcategories also. So whatever the error you want to find out, you just click on data. Like orphan check, I want to run this check on a particular feature class like this, or like the feature like car track. These are the car track. And once this is done, you can check or uncheck this, always run on the full database. I am going to uncheck this. And you can also include the additional features in comparison. If you want to run this check with the comparison of other features, then you just select that feature. Right now, I'm not going to select any feature here. And then finally, what you need to do is that you need to write a note about that particular check and the severity. Severity you can give from 1 to 5. 1 means the highest and the 5 means the lowest. Then I'll say okay. Once I'll okay it, then this rule, this rule is saved here, and then I will run this check from here. Once I will run this, then it is asking me that you want to run this check on the current extent, or you want to go through the definition query, or full database. So this time I am going through the full database. I'll say okay. Once I will run this, it is saying that 22 records found. So I'm not going to write these checks right now into the reviewer table, but I will just show you that what are those errors. So I'll say okay. So once I said okay, so once I said okay, then I will say I'll jump the errors one by one. So the highlighted feature, you can say these are the orphan features. Orphan means which are lying without connected with anyone, any other feature, and which are the especially not connected with any other feature. So this is orphan. So you can see that various features are there. Yeah, there are 22 orphan features in this particular feature class. So this is the best example, I would say, that orphan feature, which is hanging here. So this I have shown you that how I have created the data, how I have created the session, and then how many checks were present there, and then how we have created one check, and then how we have run that check on our full database. So this was the short demo I have given. Now again we'll come to the presentation part, and we'll keep coming on demo part on time to time. Yeah. Now, the next is batch validation. So what is batch validation actually? See, just now you have seen that I have prepared one check and I have run that check, and it gives me the list of errors. But what if I will configure so many checks, and I will create one batch file, and in that batch file the different type of definition will be given for different type of checks, and we will run that batch job on our file, and it will give the list of errors and varieties of errors that is present in that data. So that is batch validation. In other terms, I can say that while these automated checks can be configured and run one-off, in reality, it is likely that you have many rules requiring you to run multiple checks at a time. The cumulative review of your data can be implemented by grouping many data checks into a reviewer batch job. A batch job represents the physical implementation of your QC model that captures all the business rules collected from various sources. So, yeah. You can, there are, we have already prepared so many checks and we have kept at our resource center, like for the electrical utilities, roads and highways, tax, parcel, water utilities. So we are maintaining all the checks, and you can either directly use these checks, or you can modify these checks as per your requirement, and these checks will help you if you want to use these checks. Now I am going to give another demo, and that is about the batch validation. Yeah. So in batch validation, as I have told you that this we have prepared, first we have prepared one check. Now I am going to create the batch jobs. So how to create this batch job actually? You first need to select a new group, and in this new group you can right click and add the checks from here. So whatever check you want to add from here, you can add it. Like if I want to add the polyline check and find dangle. So it will open this palette, and here I can write the name of that particular check. Like I will write dangle. In dangle, the both type of checks, the errors are included, the overshoot and undershoot. So now I will select the feature class on which I want to run this. So in this way, I will select the track, and again the same thing. I need to define the dangle tolerance. So say for example, if I will give 10. So if the track is less than 10 meter, means it is we can consider this as a dangle. But again, it is on our judgment that sometimes it may be a track, but we are considering this as a dangle. So it's again our judgment also at when we are eliminating these errors. Again, severity you can define from here. And the best thing is that you can find here in this palette, about each and every check, it is written here that what it does actually. So you can read it. So it's a very simple actually, Similarly, I will say now, and I will say okay. And if you want to run this on the run the full database, then you can check it, and then I'll say okay. So this is my first check. Similarly, I have already prepared so many other checks I have already prepared there, and I am going to just a minute. Now I have told you that how to create a batch job. Now I will select the batch job, which I have created earlier. So I will just select that batch job from here. I have kept in my directory, and yeah, this one I'll select. I'll say open. So here it will find the orphan element, the duplicate feature, the dangle, and overlap. So I'll just validate it, and it is saying there is no error with the checks which you have prepared here. Then I will say run. But before running this, we have to take care that features on validate, on which feature you want to run this, like current extent, definition query, or full database. So I'm going to take full database, and then I'll run on this. So it is saying it is running on this, and there are 59 records written to the data reviewer table. I'll say OK. Now the earlier I have not written this to the data reviewer table, but this time I have written all the errors in the reviewer table, as you can see here. So these many errors you can find here, and if you can also give the title to these checks. So as you can see here that the check title I have given here, and if I want to see that any particular error I want to see from here, then what I'll do, I'll right click here and I'll select the zoom to the feature geometry. Once I'll select this, then it will lead me to that particular feature or to that particular error. So as you can see here. So the second one, if I want to select, so this is the another feature which is hanging here. Similarly, if I want to find out the check like duplicate features, so you just again do the same process, zoom to the geometry, and you can see here that there is one polygon which is lying in a jungle, which is lying in a forest area. So it never happened that there is a different polygon within, there is a, the another feature on top of the other feature. Like it never happens that the rice field is present on jungle. I mean, both the features are present there. Rice field is also there and forest is also there. So it never happens. So it's an error. Now this another one is, this is the block. I mean, this the residential block is present in the forest area. So again, it's an error. So in this way, you can find so many errors you can find here, and you can eliminate those errors when you are going for editing purpose. So this I am going to complete this short demo. I am going to stop here, and now I'm again coming to the presentation part. So now methods for executing data validation. We can execute the data reviewer validation rules through the ArcMap, which is the oldest one, the ArcGIS Pro, the latest one, and you can also write the Python script to run these the QC rules or through the model. Now visual review. Now, as I've told you that both have their pros and cons, because there are certain errors which you cannot avoid, which you cannot find through the automated review. So visual review is equally important here. So as you can see here, so the limitations of automated review and the data must exist there. If data is not exist there, then the automated review cannot do anything. So if data is there or not, that only can be done by the human eyes. And if the features are not placed on geography correctly, so that is also an error, and that can be found by the human eyes only. So machine cannot do anything. So machine cannot compare the raster or vector at this moment. Yeah. So ArcMap Reviewer provides a number of tools to facilitate visual review of data. There are tools that help in selecting and browsing features, committing existing features as error, and flagging missing features. So you can put flag also, as you can see here on your screen here. And this dockable window allows you to visualize the spatial extent of the area under review and divide that area into smaller sections using a grid. So you can create your grid also. Tools are provided to navigate these grid cells and update the cell's status to provide a visual indication of review progress. Because of the time-consuming nature of visual review, it is often not possible to review 100% the features, especially if you have a large data set. Data Reviewer helps you to create a random sampling of features which can visit it and assess the part of your visual review. So it will, as in the second picture, you can see that we can create the sampling we can do, and on the basis of that sample, we can find out the percentage of error. So in ArcGIS server, see, we have also the ArcGIS server extension for this particular quality control tool. See, the reviewer enables you to expand participation in the quality control process by enabling capabilities for non-GIS subject matter experts to provide feedback on the information they leverage. In this example, the report feature widgets for flags has been implemented as a simple submit error workflows added to the ArcGIS viewer for flags application. When users of the viewer discovers an error, they can easily submit an error note identifying the source of the problem and other error information. The feedback is logged to the reviewer workspace where it is viewed and either rejected or allowed to pass on technicians for correction as would any other data reviewer identification error. The reviewer workspace serves as the centralized place for managing errors, both those detected using automated checks as well as errors detected manually by data consumers. Now we'll talk about the reporting data quality, that how we can, reporting data quality here. Yeah, so in this way, as you can see here in the slide, that in this way we can generate the report from the system, and it will tell about that how many percentage is completed, how many errors are there. So all the reports you can see here, and Data Reviewer provides the host reporting capabilities on both desktop and server. Even on the server you can do this. And in ArcMap, Data Reviewer provides multiple reporting methods for summarizing the results of your automated QC review. Reports are generated in Microsoft Excel for organization to customize and format as required. For example, with the sampling report or pass-fail results is automatically provided based on the label of acceptable error, which was set when executed a random sampling of our data. Now, if we talk about the data quality reporting, you can also extend reporting capabilities through other mediums such as the web to better inform interested communities. For example, a decision maker can access the quality of data holding through the time and by location to better understanding if quality is getting better, getting worse, or staying the same. These metrics can be integrated with other organizational data to correlate with factors such as changes to data acquisition or management methods, employee training turnover, which could impact data quality. Now, I am going for again a short demo. So the last time, we have in the last demo, I have run the checks here, the QC rules here that I have prepared and then run on the file. So I can prepare, I can generate the reports from system itself. So if I'll click on the options, and if I'll say the reports, so these many reports, the automated check report by group, check report by origin table, check report by subtype, and total record count, sampling record. So see these many, reports you can generate from here. And also on which session you are working, you just select that session and then you generate your report. So I'm working on the the 7th session, and I will generate the report by total record count. So if I will say okay, so it will say, if I will write the name of that report and I will say save. So it will open that particular Excel sheet here, and it will give me the the total, the check type, the check title, and the total records, total results, total percent accuracy, and distinct results, distinct percent accuracy, all sort of errors you can generate. Now, if you want to generate, the report by the group, so that is also possible. I'll just write here group by group, and I will say save. So it will open again, and you can see that by group it is giving me that find dangle check. So these are the dangles you can see here. This is the percentage of accuracy, and if you want to duplicate, so you can see here this is 99% of accuracy, and also the record validated and total percent accuracy you can also see here. So in this way we can generate number of other reports that I've shown here, as you can see here, like this, this, and this, and finally you can distribute these reports and given to the other members these reports. Now I'm again going jumping, and I'm going to the presentation part again. Okay. Now these are the the resources where with the help of these resources you can contact us, and we can give you the solution if you have, or if you want to any solution from us. So these are the resources we have, and you can contact us. So with this, I would like to sum up this. Thank you very much. And whatever question you have, just please, I would like to invite your questions.
We have a few questions via our chat window. Okay. Why do we need so many checks? So I have my team here, so anyone from team can answer this question.
So why we need so many checks? We have if you will go just back that the earlier the data is digitized in MicroStation or in any other CAD format, and that data has been imported into the GIS format. So during that time, the inconsistency you can easily find there when you are importing that data, and there will be always, see, when we digitize the data, there will be some error by the human error you can easily find there. So there are several types of errors. So the number of checks depends on the number of the checks depend number of errors. Number of checks depends on the number of errors. So as many as errors will be there, that many checks we need to be. We need to be.
Okay. Then there's a Then there's another question. So this is from Pradeep. The question is, what's the main difference between ArcGIS inbuilt topology rules and DR rules?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, basically, when we talk, it's an special releases between the features. So generally, when we have a small scale projects, we use the topological rules, or we build the inbuilt topology, we use it. But when we talk of at an enterprise level, then within this DRs, we use those as a rules. And at an enterprise level, these rules can be saved and further in the projects, whenever as and when required, we can use it. Okay. So it's basically the at a scale when we are using it, when it's in a small scale, we use the inbuilt topology, and when we goes up to an enterprise level, this is DR rules which we are using.
Okay, so what I understand is that when the scale increases, it's not practically possible for you to do it on an individual basis. So that's where you create your, as per the data which you are creating, organization will create benchmarks for the rules, and they will store it in a place so that they can be run every time.
Correct. You save it, and then as and when required, you use it.
Yeah. And it's a one-time effort. You just create your rule, and it's a one-time effort, and then you can use this rule for.
So I think the initial effort goes in creating the rules for the first time, and once the rules are created, so you keep on fine-tuning those rules over the period of time, and the effort required to run those rules that reduces drastically over the period of time. Okay, so I have another question from Thiru Devia. Does this make PLTS and Laurel Hill checks redundant?
PLTS is no more the name. PLTS is no more the name. It's production line tool set. So now we call it as a data reviewer. So yeah, it's one and the same thing. So and Laurel checks had redundant is like it's a part of that.
So essentially what we are saying is PLT is nothing but data reviewer, and the Laurel Hill checks, they are a part of the data reviewer suite itself. Okay, thank you. I have another question from Dr. Abramksh. He says, can you share the presentation and audio in the video format by email? Yes, probably in 1 or 2 days of time you will receive the entire recording of the presentation. We will upload the presentation also so that you can download the presentation and share it with the team. And if you have any further questions, you can always write back to us. My team is here, so wherever you are based, we can always connect you with our team locally there, so that they can help you out with the specific requirements. Again. Another question, similar question, which is, can we get the audio for this presentation so it will be shared? I have another question which says, on which data you work. So I'm not very sure this question is coming from.
Data, see, generally we use the vector data. And these rules can be run on the vector data only. I suppose this is the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think this question is a question from Afzal. Afzal, if you have any other associated questions, or you want this additional information, you can just write it to us via the chat window. Okay. So there's another question from Dr. Abramksh. Can these reports be linked to a project management solution?
Yeah. Very sure. These, the production mapping is a suite of tools in which 2 extensions are also there: the workflow manager and data reviewer. Okay, so the reports can be generated when your data is passing through the data reviewer. So at that time, it will generate the reports, and these reports will be sent to the higher authority. The production, who is monitoring the entire production unit. So it is. You need to create report, generate report, and then send to your supervisor and whomsoever you want to share it.
So.
So project manager also.
There are APIs also by which it can be, it can be linked to other solutions.
Yes. It is enterprise environment, so you can go through that also.
So I think there's another associated with this. Can we generate the reports as PDF format? So I think that is possible, right?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. Again, a question which is a better method of review, the automated or the visual?
It depends on the type of the, data you are reviewing. If the data, you can run the RBJ, you can write your own RBJs and you can run on a large data set. But if you want to review it, point by point, there is another way. So it depends upon the data and its quality, how you need to go about it, and the decision is on the, on the person who is doing that review.
Yeah. So, thanks, Dheeraj. And I would like to add some more on this. See, the visual review, as I told you, that there are always pros and cons. Certain errors which cannot be found out by the checks, and certain errors which cannot find by the visuals. So, if the proper snapping is not there, we have to run the automat. We have to choose the automat. Or if, the feature are missing, if feature is displaced, especially displaced, then we have to use the visual review.
Okay, so I have another question which says how it will help people who are new in the GIS field. So I think, in any GIS project, data creation is a very essential part of it, because the kind of analysis you derive out of it is as good as the data. So I think, but the data creation is also laborious work. So the main objective of data reviewer is to automate and simplify that particular process, so that that element of very trivial mistakes creeping into your data, and that which actually spoils the further analysis, those can be avoided. So I mean, it is your productivity enhancement tool, so which can help you improve your productivity to a very large extent. A team has been talking about visual versus automated review. So there will always be some things which will require human intervention, but the things where human intervention is not required, which are the volume is very high, and that is where those processes can be automated and significant productivity benefits can be derived.
Yeah, correct, Vishal. And apart from that, if you want to do some analysis on your data, that data should be error-free. Suppose if you want to run the network analysis tool, if you want to optimize path, then your data should be error-free. If there is some, inconsistency exists with the data, then you cannot run the, the analysis you cannot do on that data. It will break in between. So the data should be neat and clean always.
Okay, so we have another question. Can we run dangle check across multiple feature classes?
Multiple feature classes, yes, of course you can run. Yeah.
Okay. Can we do attribute validation in data reviewer like to types?
Yeah. It's a basic thing that you can run on attribute also.
Can this data quality report be shared with users who are using ArcGIS Enterprise solution in a login mode? Is it essential as the users update the data with user login?
Yeah, it's up to you. And that if you want to put some user login, that you can do that also. But I don't think that there is a requirement of this.
I mean, does the name user functionality?
Yeah, that is possible. That you can do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I think that's we have come to the end of questions which are there on the chat. We'll probably wait for a minute if there are any further questions. Otherwise, we'll close for the day. The recording of the webinar will be and the presentation will be shared with you over email in 1 or 2 days of time. And if you have any further questions, beyond today, you can always write to us at info@esriindia.com, info@esriindia.com, and my team would be here to answer those questions for you. Okay, so we have one last question. Will data reviewer work with personal geodatabase or shapefile?
I mean, on both you can run this, no issue.
Okay.
Because the data reviewer with the error table which is created, that is a separate table. It doesn't run on the main data actually. You will have a separate table and the errors will be stored in the separate table. It is nothing going to do with the original data. So yes, it works with shapefile and GDB also.
So one last question, Devanand, before we close. How can we make the data quality reports? So I think you showed some part of how you can generate reports in Excel and other things, and what kind of different type of fields. Anything else that you would like to add to this?
Yeah. Actually, once you have run your checks on your data, then it will it will summarize all the errors in the reviewer table, and at the last of the reviewer table there is one option option. You just click on that option, and whatever type of report you want to generate, you can generate that. And it is, based on the title, that check title and the other things that I don't remember here now. But you can generate all those reports.
Okay, thank you, Devanand. So I think we have answered all the questions. So we'll now close this webinar for today. Shauradip, over to you.
Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, with this we conclude the session for today. Wish you all a great day ahead. Thank you everyone for joining in.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.